Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Great Day Houston. Can you believe he did that? He blocked the slam Duncan. Well, our first guest served as a three-time NBA All-Star while playing for the Houston Rockets. Known for his crossover dribble and flashy dunks, Steve Francis was nicknamed the Franchise. Now retired from the game, he's teaching other young boys how to play the game, and here to share how he's making a difference in our community, Steve Francis. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Good. All right. So you were saying to me earlier, you go, when I first moved here in '99, I saw this girl on TV.
Yeah, and you know, when I was a rookie here, I used to see you on the news every morning. I was like, who is this lady?
Yeah, but you never called.
Who is this lady that's talking and knows everything? But it shows you how much I love Houston, how much I've been here.
Yeah. All right. So you say, who is this lady? A lot of people don't need to say, who is Steve Francis? But really, when we look at how you grew up, because oftentimes we look at where somebody is, but not how they got there.
Absolutely.
And I'd love to share a little bit of your story because I think it can be so encouraging to so many other people. Your earliest memory of basketball?
I think I was 8 years old in Washington, D.C., and we couldn't afford tennis shoes, so I actually came in some boat shoes to my first practice. So, and I begged my mom to take me home. I didn't want to practice. I didn't want to play because I love football so much.
Yeah.
But that's probably the first good memory that I have of, you know, committing to basketball.
You were born and raised in Tacoma Park, Maryland. They nicknamed you Wink as a child. Why?
Oh my gosh. They said I was faster than a wink in an eye. So anytime I had to clean up or do some homework or something, I was always gone. So.
A lot of times when we focus on people, we focus on all of their ups. You know, we focus on all the positive things that happen in life. But you had some things early on that kind of threw you for a loop, and one of them, your mom died of cancer.
It was, at that point, you know, being a boy and being the youngest boy in the family, being, you know, the spoiled one out of the family.
Yeah.
And to me, I know everyone took it hard, but for me, it was the hardest thing that I've ever experienced. But it gave me a lot of power, a lot of insight.
But you stopped playing the game for a while.
I stopped playing. Completely, you know, I just shut down, didn't know what my next direction was. I didn't know if I wanted to hang with the guys or I wanted to get back in the books.
Yeah. Your biological father was serving time in prison, but you had a stepfather who became kind of your foundation as well after your mom passed away. We are in the building where Big Brothers Big Sisters is, and as they always say, if there's an adult who has a positive influence on a child, it can change that child's life forever. Your stepfather had a big impact on you.
And it wasn't about, you know, him having flashy things. He had his jobs. He would work at the metro station. He would work at the trash company, and just seeing him going out every single day to make sure my sister and myself were able to, you know, to eat, and my sister was able to go to school it was hard at that time when he didn't have his best friend with him.
Yeah. For you, you could have made decisions. We all can make decisions.
Absolutely. To
go one way or the other. Do you remember a moment where you could have gone the other way and decided not to?
At that time, when my mom passed, it was, hey, do you want to go back to the way that you grew up? Do you want to hang out in the corner all day? Or do you want to finish what your mama wanted you to do, and that's get your GED and head to college? And that's what I did. I mean, to leave Washington, D.C., to come all the way here to Pasadena to go to San Jacinto Junior College, who would imagine I would come back to play for the Rockets? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so playing basketball, we can look at it as just entertainment, as just sports, but it does so much more for a community. It does so much more for individuals. What did basketball do for you?
It kept me, it had something, it was something that I knew that was every single day.
Yeah.
You know, growing up on welfare, you're not sure what's going to come every single day, but basketball was the guaranteed thing that I knew, that it was free.
Yeah. And
I was able to go outside and shoot and, you know, practice and emulate some of the things that I was watching on television.
Yeah, so. And it's one of those things, too, that kids can play in the street, right?
Exactly.
And gather a game. It taught you how to work with a team.
Exactly.
Taught you how to be a winner. 3-time NBA All-Star while playing for the Houston Rockets. You played for Orlando Magic, New York Knicks as well. How'd you get the nickname the Franchise?
Bill Worrell, the Rockets, the longtime Rockets sports announcer, I guess it was my first game, and I just heard him saying it. And after the game, everybody was like, Franchise, and I was just like, all right, I guess that's my nickname. Right, it went from Wink to Franchise in one game. So. Yeah. In a wink of an eye.
Yeah, in a wink of an eye, because Wink was the other. So you were the wink in the eye Franchise. All right. Your stepfather, who was your new best friend, right, at that time, passed away.
Yeah.
And from suicide. And I think when someone passes away, it hurts. But when it is because of suicide, that also is another level of, you think, what could I have done, right? What could have I done?
And that's all, I mean, it played, and it still plays into my head, like, what could I have done? But you never know what battles people are going through. A lot of people, similar to myself, a lot of people hide a lot of things from people, and it takes a strong person to hold those things in, and it takes a stronger person to let those things out.
Yeah.
And for me and my sister and my family, even my kids, when I had to explain to my son why I don't like him playing with guns, why I don't like my daughter being around those things, you know, it kind of came full circle to where he understands the detriment of playing with things like that. And
also the value of being able to talk, being able to say what's on my mind and what's bothering me. For you, again, you know, before we talked about you stopped playing basketball. In this case, you did what so many of us do, and that's self-medicating, and you got into trouble with alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, after that, I mean, 18 months, I went from stop playing basketball to my dad's death, and like all of that it was just so, it just came so fast.
Yeah.
You know, my first dream is gone, my dad's gone. So when you retire, you want to be able to go off in the sunset and go relax. But for me, it was just back to work again, like I didn't play. So, you know, I found myself in a dark place for a while. With medication and help from my family, my grandmother and my sister, like, now I understand what I went through those storms for to be here.
Yeah, and you had that foundation set for you. So, you know, it's not that bad things won't happen to people. It's not that we might make, you know, bad decisions to deal with those situations, but that you have a foundation that ultimately wins. And you had that foundation set for you that ultimately won. And you want to help set that foundation for some other kids. Tell us about your camp and your game.
Friday, we're doing Hoops for Heritage at KIPP. We've been working with KIPP, the Steve Francis Foundation, and the Brenda Wilson Scholarship Fund. We've been working with KIPP since 2004. To be able to see these kids who are in, you know, low-income places and
Oftentimes single-family homes.
Single-family homes, things that I can relate to. That some of my friends, even my mom when she was here, we would, you know, we've adopted kids. My stepdad, we still have adopted kids, me and my sister, and just to be able to, you know, to see the dreams in their eyes, just to see those kids, they don't want to, you know, be another statistic, because everything is on social media, everything is on the news that's right at their fingertips.
Right.
And
the expectations for them, that their environment's going to define them, and it doesn't have to.
And when they hear a lot of that, I like the way that a lot of the kids, they don't want to be like that. It doesn't make a difference of your race, your age, or anything. And I'm so happy that I'm able to be involved.
Yeah, so it's the first ever Hoops for Heritage charity basketball game, and you have celebrity guests who will be there.
Well, of course I'm gonna be the biggest celebrity.
Yeah. No. Well, unless Slam Duncan shows up. How about that?
Yeah, so I have, of course, Moochie Norris will be there, Cheryl Ford, just a lot of people were known to put on an entertainment show. And it's basically for the kids and raise some money. And hopefully, you know, we'll be able to build the gym that we need, and we'll be able to build some of the facilities throughout the community that you know, that we want to head towards.
Yeah, a lot of kids look at maybe playing sports, and they look at the back end of maybe being a champion or making all the money or having all the fame. But the advantage of doing it, whether you ever get to that professional level, is what? And why parents should try to get their kids involved in sports.
Well, sports, I mean, it helps you with team. It helps you doing things together rather than being isolated, because, you know, that's when a lot of things happen. When you get in those dark places, a lot of people isolate themselves. But sports for me was everybody had to chip in. Whether it's selling raffle tickets, whether it's somebody's parents picking up another kid, you learn the camaraderie of being a team in sports.
Yeah, and for those dealing with an addiction problem, because we know that is so huge today, your advice to them?
Get help. I mean, it's not that hard to get help. You can pick up the telephone, or the best thing to do, what I learned was to talk about your problems. The more you keep them inside, the more you bottle them up, the more addicted you'll be to whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think talking to people helps a lot.
Steve, thank you very much for joining us. This morning I was in the parking lot, and he goes, "Hey, are you Deborah?" I turned around and I said, "Oh, hey." He goes, "I'm Steven." Steven or Steve? We're just going to call you the franchise. He goes, "Yeah, on some days I'm Steve, on some days I'm Steven."